All right, we're trying something new, so I just got to check something here. Don't need that. Trying to figure out if it worked. Trying to figure out if I am. Okay. Never mind. I was trying to add another location to the stream. It does not seem to be working. That is okay. We are going to set up another one anyway. Give me one quick second. We're going to get into the show in a minute. And this is going to be a fun one, too. So stay fucking tuned. All right. Here we go. We are ready. In 3, 2, 1. All right. What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dusseault, and today we are going to be talking about something very interesting to me, something very that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, quite honestly. And we're going to be talking about limiting beliefs. And one of the main limiting beliefs that I hear is what I titled this episode. I just can't do it. And the reason this limiting belief is so interesting to me is because it used to be me. I've talked about it a lot lately on this show, but when I was growing up, I always wanted to run a gym since day one. I wanted to do exactly what I'm doing with my life right now. And for the longest time, I always just thought, I just can't do it. It's just not a thing. People don't make a living running gyms and working with athletes. Like it's not a real career. So I had to give up on that. I had to give up on that dream. And now it's something that I've done a lot of work to overcome in my own life, but it's something that I see in so many people that I speak to every day. Oh yeah, I want to achieve this big goal. I want to be a UFC champion. I want to, do this, do that, whatever else it might be, but I just can't do it. Why the fuck not? Guys, we current tied for #1 pound for pound UFC fighter in the world, Alex Volkanovski. Give me a second because I want to make sure I have the number right. I'm going to just look it up right now. When did Alex Volkanovski start MMA? What age? We're going to make sure we look that up the right way. What age did Alex Volkanovski start MMA? He was 22 when he started. So he started in MMA at the age of 22 to keep fit during rugby league. So he wasn't even competing in MMA at 22, but he started at 22. And by age 34, he was the consensus #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Yet so many people out here are 18 years old and think that they can't make a career in the sport. I want to speak specifically about a situation that happened recently that really stuck out to me, where I had an athlete that told me they just can't stick to a program because it's online. Now, I just want to break this down. We had worked together for a previous fight camp, and this same athlete had told me that the work we did together was game-changing. Their gas tank had never felt better, and they were able to push a pace that they had never been able to push before. Then 2 months later, some stuff came up. They got busy, and they couldn't continue because they're bad at sticking to things online, was the response that I got. I tried to have the conversation. I tried to work through that. It didn't end up working out. However, I just want to break this down. And before I do, I want to make sure, I mean no disrespect to anyone here. My goal with this is simply to show the limiting beliefs and show how we can work through them. So you want to be a professional athlete and create a life for yourself through your sport. The work we were doing together was game-changing, but you can't stick to it because it's online. Guys, let's call a spade a spade. The reason with this individual, the reason with so many of you out there that you're not sticking to things isn't because of the reason you tell yourself. It isn't because it's online. It's because life was busy and you're not disciplined. If you're not sticking to a program, especially one that you've worked with and seen great results with, it's not because it's online. It's not because it's at the wrong time of day. It's not because of this, that, or whatever reason you might be telling yourself. It's because you lack discipline. That's it. And that's a hard truth to hear, but it's because you lack discipline. Because let's take an online strength and conditioning program as an example. You have all the sessions laid out for you during your week. You can sit down and look at your week and say, I can't do it Monday because of this, but I can get in on Tuesday evening. And then on Thursday, I can wake up a little early and get there before work. And then on Saturday, that's when I can do my last one. But instead of doing that, you're saying, oh, it's online, so I just can't do it because it's online. If you really want it, you can do it. You're putting that limiting belief on yourself. And again, I'm using this example of this particular individual, but this is not the only time I've seen this, whether with athletes that I've worked with or not. This is not the only time I've seen this. Athletes come up with these reasons that they can't do things. I'm too busy to train right now. Yeah, I would, but, I can't afford it. That same athlete who, has thousands of dollars of, music equipment at home, or a gigantic flat screen TV, or, whatever else, lives in a house that's 5 times the size of the place that they actually need, drives the latest car, owns the latest phone, but can't afford to be in the gym right now because, it's just too expensive. It's a fucking joke. You can't afford to be in the gym right now because you prioritize your money in different areas, which means you don't want it that fucking badly. The whole goal here, guys, the whole thing I really want to get across is that when you put these limits on yourself, I can't afford it right now. I don't have time. I'm bad at sticking to things that are online. Oh, whatever day doesn't work for me, whatever thing that you feel like just doesn't work for you. I need you to understand that it's bullshit. What this truly means is you lack the discipline to properly plan out your days to get the work in. What this truly means is you lack the discipline to show up and do the work when you're fucking tired. You lack the discipline to show up when you don't feel like showing up. You lack the discipline that it takes to get to the level you want to get to. And you're using this as a fucking cop-out. You're using the fact that it's online. You're using the fact that I'm just really busy with work right now. You're using the fact that I just don't have the money right now as a fucking cop-out to not have the discipline to make it to the level that you want to make it to. And I know, especially with that financial one, I get a lot of pushback, and I understand it because I've been there too. But if you want to work with a certain coach, you want to move to a certain city so that you can be at a different gym, you want to invest in better equipment that's going to help you reach the next level. First step is auditing where you spend your money. What kind of car do you drive? Do you need to drive something that fancy? What kind of house do you live in? Do you need to live in something that big? What kind of TV do you own? Did you need something that costs that much? How many times a week are you eating out? Even if it's 10, 20 bucks each time. Guys, if you eat out and you spend $20 every time you're out and you go out twice a week, that's $40 a week. That's $160 a month. Those little things add up. Those are the little things we don't think about, but that's part of the discipline that it takes to reach the level you want to reach. So when I hear athletes tell me, and I'll admit I'm fucking weird when it comes to stuff like this, but when I hear athletes tell me I can't afford coaching right now, I continue to follow them on social media, or I keep talking to them, through the time after. And I see so many of these same athletes that tell me, oh no, I'm so broke. I just don't have any money. I see these athletes when they're stopping at Starbucks every day on the way to work. I see these athletes when they're posting pictures of, a cool event that they went to, or I see these athletes when they're doing all of this other stuff that costs all of this money. Meanwhile, they're telling me, oh yeah, I'd really love to work with you, but I just don't have the money right now. I'm just so broke right now. Guys, I get it. It's hard to make that investment, but is it because you don't have the money, or is it because you're spending it in the wrong places? And the same thing, is it because you don't have the money, or is it because you're scared of making an investment in yourself? You're scared of putting the skin in the game. You're scared of sacrificing the Starbucks every morning on the way to work. You're scared of sacrificing the, nice game system that you have at home, the big TV that you have at home, the fancier car that you drive, the bigger apartment that you live in that costs $1,000 more than, that cheaper place that you could have rented. What is the real reason? Dig deep with yourself and fucking ask yourself, what is the real reason? Why are you really not taking that step? Is it truly money? Or are you scared of making a fucking bet? Is it truly because it's online and I'm bad at sticking to that? Or are you busy and you don't have the fucking discipline to wake your ass up and get to the fucking gym before you have to go to work? I'm not saying that it's easy, but guess what? If you want to conquer the world in your sport, it's not going to be fucking easy. And it drives me crazy when I see athletes that think they can just waltz through training, waltz through life, and then UFC contracts are just going to drop in their fucking lap. Guys, if you want to make it to that level, you have to show that you deserve to fucking be there. And the discipline to follow a program that's working for you is step fucking one. Having someone standing there to count your reps for you is not going to be the difference maker. If you can't stick to it when it's online, you won't stick to it if it's in person. Plain and simple, you won't. You might for the first couple of weeks, but again, it's going to come back to the fact that it's not because it's online, it's because you're not fucking disciplined. So, what I really want to reiterate before we get deeper into this is that I'm not sitting here trying to shit on any one person. There are thousands of you out there that have these issues. And I know because it was me too. Before I moved to Calgary, my mindset around money was that I never had enough and I always had to save every single dime all the time forever, no matter what. I moved to Calgary with $5,000 in the bank that I'd saved up over years. And I came into a job that paid nothing. $0 per hour were guaranteed. And I moved into an apartment that I was paying rent at. And I had enough money to stay there for 4 months if I didn't make anything. And I moved into that job. And guys, I worked 30 of the first 30 days that I was in town. And I made $99. Not $99 per month. I made $99 per hour, $99 per week. No, I worked every fucking day and I came home from that first month with $99. So I was watching my bank account drop through the fucking floor. But because I was in a situation that I knew I wanted to stay in order to reach new levels in my career, I figured it out. I stopped spending money on shit I didn't need to spend money on. I tightened the fuck up. I made sure that I was not putting money towards anything that was not an absolute necessity so that I could put myself in a position that I could stay at this gym and continue to improve in my career. Because that is what it took for me in that situation. And that's where a lot of you guys are at. And again, I want to reiterate, I know that a lot of people are going to listen to that and the defenses are going to get up. But my goal here is to help you understand that if you want to reach the next level, those sacrifices need to be made. Guys, I'm a 220-pound man, and I had my grocery bill down to $38 a week. I was finding what the cheapest sources of protein were and buying them in bulk. I was eating tuna 3 fucking times a day because it was dirt cheap, making sure that I was spending as little money as possible anywhere that wasn't essential, just so that I could continue to stay in that situation. So what I really need you guys to understand from that is that the money is tight, yes, but the money is there if you want it. And if you're truly in a position where you don't have 10 fucking cents and you are not spending money on anything you don't need to spend money on, you're putting all your priorities in exactly the right place, then is there a way for you to find another sponsor? Is there a way for you to find a different job? Is there a way for you to do something for a couple hours on the weekend that's going to bring you in a little bit of extra cash? And again, I'm not saying that's easy, but how badly do you fucking want it? That's the question you got to ask every time. How badly do you fucking want it? Because when you get to those levels, they don't care that you didn't have the money. They don't care that you didn't have the time. They don't care that the program was online and I struggled to stick to it. What they care is, are you fucking good enough? The UFC doesn't call and ask, well, did you have the time to train consistently? No, they just wonder, are you fucking good enough? If we put you up against someone that's in our promotion, are you going to win or are you going to fucking lose? So it's up to you to make sure when you get there that you're good enough. And those sacrifices, those difficult things that you do are going to be the difference between you and the guy down the street that has the same fucking dream. So what I really need you guys to take away from this is to stop using bullshit excuses like you're bad at sticking to something because it's online, or you don't have the time to put work in right now, or any of these other excuses that I see people use every single day. You have the fucking time. You can stick to the fucking program. It's up to you. It's up to how badly you want to succeed. Every I can't statement, replace it with I can't achieve my goal because I don't have time. Or I can't achieve my goal because I have to do some work online. Or I can't achieve my goal because, money's tight. And so I just guess I can't do it. Wake up. If you want to reach the top levels, nobody cares that you're busy. Nobody cares that you didn't want to show up today. Nobody cares that you're tired. If you want to achieve anything, you need to start by showing the fuck up. And that means showing the fuck up when you don't want to. These things don't happen easily. These things don't just fall into your lap. You need to fucking work for them. And even if you are sitting listening to this and you're thinking, fuck you, Kenny, I already work hard. Cool. You need to do more because there's someone down the street willing to put the money in that you're not willing to put in. There's someone down the street willing to follow the program that you're not disciplined enough to follow. There's someone down the street willing to put those extra hours in outside of the gym that is going to put them ahead of you. So let this be the wake up moment. Let this be the moment where you realize that you're not fucking doing enough. You're not fucking sacrificing the way you need to. And you've got to wake the fuck up if you actually want to achieve something with your career. That felt good. All right. And again, guys, to wrap it up, I want to really reiterate the fact that my goal is not to shit on someone here. My goal, I'm not saying this to be an asshole. I'm saying this because this is what it takes to reach those levels that you want to reach. This is what it takes to reach the UFC. This is what it takes to achieve financial freedom through your sport. This is what it takes to make this your profession and not have to work that shitty 9-to-5 job you're trying to get away from. This is what it takes. You've got to be willing to do more than others. I know you've heard that statement before, and where a lot of people take that is, I just need to be willing to grind harder in the gym. And to an extent, yes, but also you need to be willing to make the investments that others aren't willing to make. You need to be willing to make the sacrifices that others aren't willing to make. You need to be willing to delay gratification and not just settle for short-term pleasure over long-term gain. This is all part of that statement that you need to be willing to do what others aren't willing to if you want to be successful. So I hope that was valuable to you. I know I got a lot off my chest in this one, and I appreciate all of you who tuned in right to the end. My one ask, as always, is that you share the show with a friend, share it with a teammate, share it with someone who you know needs to hear this message. I appreciate you all. Everything that I said, as angry as some of it might have sounded, is said out of love and said out of desire to help you. And that is it for this one. I appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again soon.